What made you want to specifically design these tridents? Like, what is the tactical advantage of having a trident, these 3-pronged? For people that don't know what it is, why don't you grab that trident you just made for me and show, and I'll pull it up so people can see it.
This is a trident. This is one of my specialties of work that I do. I make this out of 316 stainless. These were done to catch fish, to hunt. The first trident I designed, a big one, was to hunt wild boar. Because when you throw it, instead of 1 point, you got 3 points coming out.
And that's like that giant one on the wall back there that you made me. That's
yeah.
for catching a wild boar.
Wild boar, alligators. Yeah, that one's probably got alligators before.
That one's heavy as shit. I can barely hold that thing.
Yeah, well, that use up weight and momentum for a hunter.
Right.
I caught alligators by hand, but when we took out, I guided, take out alligator hunters.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, okay, they want to get an alligator, a trophy gator, whatever. They can use a gun or they can use a trident on private land. And a lot of them would use the trident. They would mount the gator, pack the meat, take the skin or meat home with them. And then a lot of times they bought the trident.
Yeah, so, now, when you hit a gator with a trident like that or like this, do you have to like aim for a specific part of their head?
No, if you hit them in the head, it'll bounce off.
Oh, you can't hit them in the head?
No, in the body. So to hold them. And then you got to cut the vertebrae here with a knife or an axe.
So when you hit him in the body with the trident, you like in the back or something?
Yeah, it's got a rope on it, and you hold him.
It's got a rope, and they take off.
No, they don't take off with a trident. They take off with a harpoon tip, and then you got to follow them for a while. When you hit them with a trident, they stay in the same place, and they just spin around and twist. They don't maneuver well. It does it quicker.
Oh, okay.
The trident actually, the harpoon doesn't actually kill them. The trident does.
So after you hit them with the trident, they twist around, then they tire out, and then you have to jump on them, and you have to...
Well, pull them out and have the guy, this is a guy is hunting. He wants to go on a primitive hunt. He could use his rifle, he can use a bow and arrow, he can use a trident. We left the option for him to do, if we want to do a primitive hunt with a trident. And, a lot of times they do. But I like medieval stuff. I like history. I like ancient weapons. I mean, tridents were used for fishing. That was originally what they were for. Mm-hmm. But the Roman gladiators decided to use them on each other. Mm-hmm. So you see that in the arena, the gladiators are fighting each other with these things, which is, it's a horrible thing to do, but mm-hmm. to attack another human being, right. Having each other, so for entertainment and going at it,
Right.
I guess some people still like that kind of stuff. They haven't changed. There was a gladiator event, and they were fighting each other. I don't want to see it.
No.
I'm at that point in my life. No, I'm not interested in seeing two people go at it with this.
Right.
That's ancient Rome mentality. No.
So once I hit the gator with this, say hypothetically, if I'm going to go try this and I hit the gator with it and he's twisting around, how do I go in there and actually
you pull
end his life?
You pull him and usually I have an extra trident, an extra harpoon, stick it the other one in. It's a process, and then pull him out, and then another. It's just like 3 tools and then a hatchet to hit him in the back of the head, which I also make. But I have a harpoon. Once he's there, you stick the harpoon to double secure him. This will usually hold him.
Okay.
But in case if you hit him in the back, if you hit him on the side, the skin closest in around this, so it doesn't come out. If you hit it in the back, it can come out the same hole because the skin in the back doesn't contract. It's stays the same, so it can pull out sometimes.
Okay.
Out of the middle of the back. But the tridents, they hit the side here. Once you get off the scoots, the skin will wrap around this, and it'll hold it. It won't come out.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you have to surgically move it out of there. So that's the reason this is barbed. It's really to catch a fish. So when you're catching an alligator, you're catching, a large fish. It would probably, if you're in the shallows, you could probably throw it at a shark.
Or barracuda. Yeah. Well, that might be too wide for a barracuda, huh? No, that would work for a fat barracuda.
Yeah, it depends. Anything will work on anything. That other one will...
That little one over there?
That'll work on a barracuda very well.
But if I hit something like that with a shark or whatever, I'm afraid it would take off and I would have to dive in after it and go get the fucking... I want to lose my trident.
No, you see this hole back here? That's for a rope.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You put a strong rope
and you just tie that to something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you tie that to... It depends where you're going to get... Yeah, I mean, if you're in the flats, you can get a shark with this, no problem. Mm-hmm. If you hit him from the boat... Yeah, and you put a buoy on it. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. You're going to get him,
Right.
But if he gets off, you got a line and everything on it. Mm-hmm. So you pull your trident back up, This is pretty strong, I mean, to break this is hard.
Yeah, it's industrial strength.
Yeah, industrial. This one here is 3/4 thick, solid stainless. It's got a tail that goes to here. This is crunched smashed in here. All this, I dig this out by hand with a handheld grinder. That's why I do all that.
And you make these to order for people, like when they hit you up and they want to try it.
I can get them the fishing trident, which is more like the one you got over there, or this one. Those are the two that I'm making. So they tell me what they want, and we'll take care of it.
How long can you hold your breath?
I used to do 5.5 minutes, 5:35 to be exact. Now I haven't done it in a long time, so I seriously doubt I'm going to hold my breath that long.
How long do you go right now?
Not much long at all, because I haven't trained for it, you know.
How do you train to hold your breath longer?
You train a little bit, but a lot of it is technique. It's preparing. When you're out of shape, you got to prepare better. When you're in good shape, you can get there quicker. You know, it's your deep, slow breathing, but that's what also gets you to pass out on the water and die.
But like, how would you, like before you go out in like a spearfishing competition, like freediving competition in a tournament or something like that, how would you actually prepare to do that, to hold your breath longer?
Well, you exercise, you train, you go do underwater laps, you do sitting still, you know, people spotting you, you hold your breath as long as you can without moving. You do your breathing exercises and everything. And then I had a method I do when I was going to be underwater a long time, 40 breaths.
40 breaths first?
Deep, slow breaths. Now, what can happen? You can black out in the water and die. And so it's a deadly game.
How do you black out?
You're underwater, swimming around, you're relaxed, you're fine. All of a sudden, you don't know what happened. Next thing you know, your people rescued you, and what are you doing? And you don't remember what happened. Total blackout. Does
the blackout happen only when they get to the point where you're like really close to being out of breath?
No, the brain doesn't tell you how much oxygen you have. It only lets you know how much carbon dioxide you have. So you've been exhaling and breathing fast. You could be out of oxygen. You don't know. So when you run out, the brain doesn't let you know. You think you got plenty of air and you don't have any. You don't have any more oxygen left. You fooled your brain.
And does that happen from just holding your breath too much and doing too much free diving?
Mainly from the deep breathing.
From the deep breathing.
From the breathing, fast breathing, hyperventilating before you go down. You deep breathe and you hyperventilate to get rid of the carbon. To be able to relax on the water, you got to get rid of your carbon dioxide. That's what makes you. When you want to breathe, it's not that you're out of oxygen, as you have too much carbon dioxide in your blood. So the trick is you fool the brain. Then you can stay down as long as you want till you die.
Have you ever blacked out free diving?
Yes, I have. In a swimming pool.
In a swimming pool?
Yeah. The girl I was training for free diving pulled me up. And I asked her, what are you doing? You're disturbing my routine. And she goes, no, you blacked out. You're completely out. So I would watch her. She watched me. We were training in a swimming pool. As our team at the time, I was working with Mark and Megan. She was Mark's girlfriend. She was freediving champion, Megan. Freediving champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the U.S. at that time. She held the record for male and female at the time.
After you blacked out, what did you do? Did you just like take a break for a while, or did you go right back in? Did you go right back in and start diving again?
No, next day I was diving again. The only thing I was more cautious because
make sure you have somebody watching you and spotting you.
If you're close to blackout and you don't black out, you get like a dizziness, and that's a samba. When you black out, you won't get that. You go all the way. You'll never get that warning. But I've had that.
No warning at all. You just black out.
But if you came close and you survived, you could feel there was a dizziness. So
wow.
that's like, I did that too many times. Diving by myself, going down 100 and something feet to shoot fish, free diving, waiting on the bottom to shoot a fish. I would go 110 feet of water and lay on the bottom for like 40 seconds.
At 110 feet?
Yeah, just lay on the bottom down there. I would start counting at the time myself when I was on the bottom. And then I swim back up. So all by myself. So there's no
with weights on you? Weight belt?
If I had a Speedo on, I would use 4 pounds because I was very lean back then. Mm-hmm. If I had a wetsuit on, depending on the thickness, I would put more weight depending on the thickness of the wetsuit. I could swim 400 feet underwater.
Swim 400. So you could go, you could dive down 200 feet.
And 200 feet back. No, but swimming both ways. So when you go down, you don't kick.
It's only halfway.
You fall. You only kick on the way up.
Right, because you're fighting against the weight belt.
Once you put a little bit of weight, once you break 30 feet, you should be able to free fall. And then you just line yourself, and the deeper you go, as your lungs compress, you speed up down, and you keep clearing.
Is there?
After a while, I can't get air into my ears, and I got to stop. I blew an eardrum doing that.
How deep? How deep were you when you blew an eardrum?
Man, I could have been 180 feet or 200 feet. There was a marker at 220. I could see it. I was trying to get to it. And the watch only marked to 165. After that, I quit marking.
My God.
That was a gauge. So I kept going after that, and it boom, sounded like a firecracker going off in my head.
You lose your equilibrium and shit when that happens,
You do,
right?
but I got up so quick before I lost my equilibrium. I aimed and shot for the surface 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Can't you hurt yourself doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you go home, you blow your nose, air comes out of your ear. And I blew another one with a power head too, so I've blown both of my eardrums.
Blew one with a power head?
Yeah.
It just blew up next to you?
I fired and it went off in the water, and the concussion,
Oh my gosh.
popped the eardrum.
That's insane, man.